Hi, I'm doing this video to help explain what it's like if you have a child 4 years and younger in the Bell Agency. So first off, I do not need, if you're 4 and under, I do not need professional photos, but I do need good, clear, clean photos of your child. One of the best things I recommend is for you to open the front door of your home, put your child in the entrance hall, turn your cell phone flash off. You stand outside the door, have your child sit, stand, whatever's the cutest on your kid, and smile directly at you at the camera. The flood of light that comes in from the outside normally is beautiful. Make sure that if there's a line of it's really harsh light, that they're just on the other side of that light, and then they should have this flood of beautiful light on them. Have them smiling at you at the camera. Give me something that's full length, maybe mid-length, and a headshot. The headshot is the biggest thing I need. I need a close-up of your kid smiling. No food, no toys, no passies, and no big hair bows. They really want to be able to see what your kid looks like, just a clean, cute smile. Now, if you're 4 and up, I'm going to do another video for that because that is a little different. But 4 and under, and 4 is a question mark, you can decide what that looks like for you. But once you start moving past 4, you really do have to have a professional picture done once a year. Okay, because your kids are younger and because they change so much, that is why they do not require professional photos. They just need good photos. So it might mean you have to take some time during a day and really work on getting those for me. Stuff that's on your camera that you shot at Disney World will not work. It will work for you to send it to me and let me take a look and see what we think if your kid's going to be able to work. But then once it's time for your kid to start getting jobs, I really need for you to take some time and really get those clean, smiley, happy, adorable pictures of your kids, because that's what's going to represent your child the best. Okay, so now you've gotten me the shots that we need. The next thing is we're going to put you on 800 Casting. This is a website that casting directors require us to be on. We actually have 2. One is 800 Casting and the other one is Casting Networks. 800 Casting is the first one that we've got to make sure you're on. Casting Networks is more for commercials. There's not as much work for that for babies. That doesn't mean that I don't have some. We had some castings last week, so they do happen. But the one that I've got to get you on first is 800 Casting. I'll put you on there. I'll fill out the information that I'm able to fill out, and then I will send you a 30-day free trial. Now, I want you to take that free trial, and I want you to go in and fill out all the information, make sure the best photos are uploaded, that we're ready to go, because this is how I submit packages to clients. It is $50 a year. You do not have to pay that. There are advantages to paying it, which I'll go over, but I am fine if you want to wait to see if your kid's actually going to get some work, and then you can take it from the first paycheck and then do 800 castings from that. If you do not get it, what happens after your 30 days, then you will have to give me any information that needs to be updated, and I'll have to update it. I have to be the one to upload the photos. I think I have to be the one to upload most of the information, which is fine. I'm glad to do it. I just like for you to get it started. The advantages of you paying the $50, and if you start getting booked, I will require for you to get this done because it will make a huge difference as they do work, as they shoot videos, as they do a commercial. You can upload those commercials. They're there for the clients to see. With the free, you can only have 1 photo. Also, it doesn't give you control over that page. If you pay the $50 for the year, you can put up, I think it's 12 photos, a decent amount of videos. It's kind of like your own little web page for your child, and then you update the information as needed. Every so often I'll send you an email saying I've got a packet coming up that I've got to send out. Clients are asking for stuff, and I'll ask you to go online and make sure all your information's up to date, just so that you've got the chance to go in and say, oh, they're no longer wearing a 3 to 6 months, they're now into 6 to 9 months. So we can make those changes, and then the clients always have the current digitals, the current photos, the current sizes and information that's needed. So 800 Casting is how we submit packages, and it is a requirement from a lot of casting directors. And it makes our life a lot easier, and it makes it where I'm not the one having to do all the work. You guys are able to help me out by keeping your child's information up to date. So 800 Casting will be the second step after you send me the information and we get the photos that we need. At that point, you'll wait to hear from me, and I talk to you a lot. I will send you information as I have it. I have Carter's, I have Graco, Kids 2, Mud Pie. There's a lot of children's baby products that are shot here in Atlanta. What typically happens is they have an audition. They send me the criteria that they're looking for. Let's say it's Graco. And they have 6 different products that need to be shot. So I know what size children are supposed to be in there. So they'll say this is a 3 to 6 months. And then they might say the next size they need is not but a 12 to 18 months. And so I'm supposed to put a package together with those kids of those sizes. Sometimes they know the parents in advance. If they do, that helps, because then I'm able to go through, if I know that they're looking for someone ethnically ambiguous, I will then go through my roles and find my 3 to 6 months olds that could fit an ethnically ambiguous parent. That makes things a little easier. I don't always know that because they don't always know that in advance. So I will find all my 3 to 6 month olds, send them on the audition. They will put your child in the product. We'll see how your kid does. What they're looking for is, do they leave the parent easily? It's kind of a big deal. Do they come out of the mom's hands easily? Do they go into the product and like being in the product? It's shocking how often you think, oh yeah, my kid likes strollers, and then they're put in the stroller and they scream they don't want to be in there. So we'll make sure that the child likes the product, and then they do everything they can to make your child smile. It's very fun. The whole process is really cool to go and be a part of and watch. And your kid could rock it. But if you have a blonde hair, blue-eyed child and they book an African-American mom, obviously your kid's not going to be booked no matter how well they do. So there's a lot of variables in this, and it's good to know that going in. Remember, it's a numbers game. The more auditions you go on, the better you get. I do have some clients that will book from photographs. So that's why your photos are very important. Not all clients do that, though. They need to see your baby in their product. So that's why they hold auditions, and that's why the auditions are really important. And they hold auditions often. So like Graco does a lot of auditions. Carter's does a lot of auditions. And they just need to see, what does your kid look like right now? How does it fit? What's their temperament? And because you go on an audition one day and your kid did not want anything to do with it, doesn't mean when they do the audition the next month that they're not going to rock it that time. So please, please know that. Now, let's say you've gone on the audition. I've sent you on this audition, and now you're curious, did we get it? I cannot go and call every single person I sent on that audition and say you didn't get it. That's not a phone call I want to make. So your job is to go on the audition and then forget about it, which is not so easy, I know, because it was fun and your kid did great and it was a great experience, because they work really, really hard to make sure that you leave going, that was great. That's their goal. Sometimes you end up having to wait a little while. If everybody shows up all at once, you do sometimes have a waiting period, but they really work hard for that waiting period to be as little as possible, for it to be a really fun experience for you to walk away going, Carter's is great, they're so fun to work for. That's the goal. So know that. But let's just say you leave and you're like, my child did great. You are welcome to email me and say, have you heard anything yet? But I'm not going to just call you, just so you know. I will let you know if your child got it. So the more auditions you go on, the more you'll become comfortable of, this is just what we did, this was a fun outing, and go from there. Now, if you are a working parent, this is important for me to know. I need to know, do you have somebody that can take your kid to these auditions? And it could be your grandma, it could be a child caregiver, it could be your husband, it could be you. I just need to know, is someone going to be able to get your child to this audition? Because very rarely, that doesn't mean never, but very rarely are jobs on the weekend. Almost never. So, is this right for you? You might have the cutest kid in the whole world, but if you can't get your kid there, it might not be the right time for your child to do this. So let's just talk through that. That's a really important thing for me to know. All right, so now your kid went on the audition. I've called you and told you you've got the audition, and you're going to have to hold these dates. So they will hold a whole week because they don't know how much, how often, and exactly when they're going to use you. The chances are you'll probably just be one day of that week. But as the days get closer, they will let you know what day. So I'll let you know when, and as soon as I know it, I promise. The second I have it, I'm forwarding that information to you as quick as possible. Then you go and you do the job. Now, when you go to the job, you will have a voucher, is what we have you fill out. I will email it to you in advance, or the client will have it. If it's a client that I know that has it, she makes sure she has tons of copies. I don't always worry about making sure you have it, but if it's a new client, I definitely make sure you have a voucher. The voucher, what that does is allow Glenn, who handles all of the billing, he bills as soon as a job is over, but it makes sure that he knows your hours, exactly how much to bill it for, and who to bill it to. So that voucher being filled out in completion is extremely important. So please make sure you get that done, and then you leave the voucher with the client. That's their copy. You're going to take a picture of it with your cell phone, which is your copy, and you're going to email that. Please don't text it. Please email that copy to me, and I'll make sure it gets to Glenn, and he will get that invoice done as quick as possible. Okay, now you want to know about when do you get paid. It takes, on average, I would say most clients are a 30 to 60 day pay period. Just everybody's pay cycle is a little different, because often, let's just say it's with Carter's. Carter's will then pay the production company. The production company then will pay the agency, and then the agency turns around and pays you. Now, we pay within 24 hours. This is now mine and my husband's only livelihood, so we need to cash that check quickly and get it to you quickly, and would love for you to cash it quickly, because this is how we make our money. Speaking of that, so let's talk money. How much do you make, and how much do we make, and how does this work? So every client's different. Kids can make anywhere from $65 an hour to $90 an hour. Some clients they just have a flat rate that they pay, and they tend to pay by age, and it could go up to 4 or 5 hours. So there's a little pay scale. Whenever I send you the information, the pay is always on there. So you need to make sure that when I send you the information about an audition, it will have the dates of the audition, it will have the dates of the shoot, it will have the pay scale on there. So A, you want to look at the pay scale and make sure you're comfortable with that. B, you want to look at the dates and make sure you're not only available for the audition, but you really are available for the job. Because if you go on that audition and you are then not available for the job, you become blackballed with that client, and that's really not a good thing. It puts them in a bad position, it puts me in a really bad position, and it doesn't reflect well on you. So those are really important things. You need to make sure that you're okay with the audition dates, you're okay with the shoot dates, and you're okay with the money. All of that I'm very upfront with. We don't make a penny until you make money. So our goal is to get as much money for you as we can. We take 20% of the income that you make. That's how the agency runs. And that is how every agency across the country works. Everybody takes 20%. Now, some commercials, it's 15%. And that will be noted when it is, and it's normally a SAG commercial, it's 15% for agents. And I will make sure you know that up front. We're very, very, very clear on money. There's not any, oh, well, it's this or then it's that. It's very clear before you audition, before we say she's available for the job, you will know what's going on. We will then turn around within 24 hours of getting that check and make sure that you have it. And we look forward to you making lots of money with the Bell Agency.